India is growing. Our dynamics are shifting. We, the people of India, are entering into an era of Samruddh Bharat, Shashakt Bharat. A Bharat that is empowered, a Bharat that is prosperous. Hello and welcome to our vlog series towards an inclusive Bharat. I am Tapas. The pathway of making our Bharat inclusive has so far witnessed revolutionary changes in terms of policies, legislations, so on and so forth. To what extent have these been able to reach to those who need them the most? To understand this at length, we are continuing our conversation with someone who has been at the forefront of disability advocacy from the last 50 years, half a century, my friends, at both the global and domestic level. Our beloved founder president, Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan, Dr. Mrs. Shayama Chona. Appreciate your joining me.
Thank you, Tapas. I feel absolutely top of the world when I hear you speak the way you do. It'll be quite hard for me to match up with your strength in the voice and your thinking ability, and from what I saw when you first met me at the age of 6 or 7 to now when you are an advocate. And I realize that there are no barriers in this world. Barriers are created by human beings, and to be different does not mean that you are in any way lesser than rest of the world.
Well, ma'am, you are a tree and I am just a fruit, and I just pray to Almighty for the courage, strength and your well-being always. Ma'am, Rights of Persons with Disability Act 2016, an act that empowers us, an act that gives persons with disabilities hopes for inclusion and accessibility. Ma'am, this act was passed in the year 2016 under the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister. How do you assess the legislation and how do you see it being executed on the ground?
I would like to really share with you and the rest of the world that there are some key areas that have impacted the lives of those who are defined as disabled. This act, of course, has increased the number of recognized disabilities from 7 to 21, including autism, cerebral palsy, thalassemia, multiple sclerosis, acid attack survivors, and mental illnesses. This broadened the access to rights and benefits of more individuals, and it enhanced the rights and protections and guaranteed non-discrimination in education, employment, healthcare, and public life. It strengthened accessibility requirements for public buildings, transport, and digital platforms, and so on and so forth. There are so many other areas of education and employment where the Prime Minister's vision benefited through 2016 Act, the Disabilities Act. But all that I want to say today is that an act by itself doesn't change the scene. Whether it is the legal provisions or it is the strengthening of the institutional framework, there are so many things, I'm sure, which we will discuss about. But what I am looking at is humanism. I myself, mother of Tamana and starter of the NGO Tamana, where 300 students are benefiting. But my heart cries out because the society does not live by the act. I hope our conversation will be shared with the society for them to understand that existence is not always the same. There are differences. There are some who are very fair, others who are dark. There are some intelligent, some less intelligent. And then there is this, the difference we have made and call them disabled. I would like to call them enabled, and it should be the enabled act. And I think till we educate every and each individual going to the school to understand that humanity is more than themselves, and they start learning about ability or disability at an early stage.
Surely, ma'am, as you just pointed out, that humanism is something which the Act needs to take in consideration and which the people needs to take in consideration for the execution of this Act. Ma'am, as you just pointed out, that the scope of disability, or I say the number of disabilities, have been increased in this Act from 7 that were there in the previous Act of 1995 to 21. Disability disaggregated data is something that we all are looking upon, ma'am, because some say it's 2.21% of the total population of the country. Some say it's 5%, some say it's 8%. How do you think this disability disaggregated data can help in reshaping the policies that are more inclusive and, I say, more accommodative for us?
Excuse me.
Nehanji, ma'am.
You see, it's not the percentage that matters. I think it's even more than that, because when I was principal of DPS Harkipuram, I realized that in the same class there were any number of students who were differently learning what was being taught. Some were quick and some were very, very slow, but they were not included in the disability sector. It's not the percentage. We should be looking at the data of the percentage of that population of this great India which understands what the difference is. My day, my daughter's life has been traumatic because people did not understand that humanity is one, and no data can fully provide us with the truth. Because learning is something which is not just intellectual or physical, there is a huge emotional part to it. And I don't know whether we are in a position to be able to measure the emotional intelligence of the people. My worry is that we do not have enough exposure to the people in general or in the media to be able to understand that the disabilities that are really spoken about, these are say 21, but there may be many, many more which may not be recorded for reasons that it's difficult to be able to record them. We need greater research, son, and I think that research should be aiming at understanding how differences between human minds, of course you can see the physical self, but the human mind is very, very difficult to be judged.
Ma'am, as you just said, that invisibility in media is something which constantly is a challenge, and your inspiration, your guidance towards this vlog series towards an inclusive Bharat is something that Tamanna is trying to take forward in order to let our viewers aware about who are we, from where we have come from. I remember a dialogue from Jolly LLB. कौन हैं ये लोग, कहाँ से आते हैं ये लोग. That's what the aim of this vlog series is. Ma'am, under your guidance and nurturing, we the people with disabilities have been able to open new doors of both employment and education in different aspects. When I talk about employment, it ranges from the hotel industry, and of course I say legal industry for me, film industry, IT industry, so on and so forth. How are you able to make this impactful change in the society now?
I fully agree with you, but lack of enforcement of accessibility is a mandate which I feel is necessary to be understood. There is little awareness about the law, especially in the rural areas. We live in the capital of the country, and there is much greater understanding, appreciation of the act. But people who are living in the villages, the children just grow up, and the parents, other than regretting their birth, are unable to do much for them. So we need to take this awareness into the rural world, and those who are there appreciate and understand that these kids should be able to attend school, they should be able to be appreciated as individuals who are as human as others. And I'm looking forward to a day where we'll have inclusivity in areas which are dark at the moment. And this limited awareness of the law is really creating lack of data, because I don't think any measuring has been done there. I need to share with the audience that the so slow progress in filling disability reservation quotas in education and jobs is a worry. And which kind of jobs are we talking about? The 300 children that I am bringing up, whenever I talk to the parents, they only have fear and tears. So we have started a whole lot of, small production here, and the children or the students, they are here with me from as soon as they are defined as different, say even above 50. They are doing National Institute of Open Schooling, where they are passing class 12. And now we are getting them to be more and more computer friendly, because you'll be surprised. Those who don't look disabled have an inner desire to learn. They have an inner, a kind of a feeling, why can't we do it? Therefore, the fears that I have right now, which no law can solve, are the security of the girls who are disabled. When I send them home in buses, we really have to have women conductors as well, so that their safety is intact. So this slow progress is worrying. 50 years ago, when my daughter was born and more, I realized that nobody wanted to even play with her in the park. They turned away. But today, the difference is that at least in cities, when others with the difference are in their company, they are able to shake hands with them and don't feel that it is something which is infectious. So I think the RPWD Act 2016 is certainly a landmark of reform, and it has increased the rights of the persons with disabilities in India. However, the success depends on effective implementation, awareness, enforcement to create an inclusive society.
Indeed, ma'am, and I think as you just said that effective enforcement is the key to ensure that this act reaches to everyone. Ma'am, National Education Policy 2019 is seen as a landmark for the education in our country that we are giving now and will be giving in future. As an educationist, how do you evaluate the role of this policy with persons with disabilities? Because under your guidance, we were admitted when there was no policy, no law, no rights.
Tapas, it's always a matter of some experience that takes you closer to the cause. I think if Tamana was not born, I wouldn't be so very active for this cause. Every experience, every hand holding makes a world of difference. I strongly feel that in order to go ahead from where we were, we need enlightenment. We need enlightenment. As I feel strongly about you, you may not be able to see, but you are enlightened. And that enlightenment has to be in each and every human being, whether in India or in other countries. And the success of the policy, success of the NEP is in its implementation. How many students are admitted every year in the school? There has to be a kind of a data. At least I don't have it. And whenever I send some students who are with me to these schools, they always find a cause to say or be rejected, which really makes me feel so bad. We need educational leaders for the success of the NEP to be able to make it successful. And that can only happen when there is more exposure, when there is more education for the educationists, and where they love them and don't feel that they are going to be a burden on the schools, colleges, universities, jobs, everywhere around. They have to be held closely with warm hearts and also with a kind of a feeling that they don't feel that they're lacking in something.
Dear viewers, we, the persons with disabilities, belong from can-do generation, in the words of our respected Prime Minister. We want to do, we can do. Only what we require is your support, encouragement, and inspiration. With this, we come to the end of our day's episode. See you in the next one with some other stakeholders where we delve deeper into new aspects of disability rights, advocacy, inclusion, and accessibility. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.